All right, guys, so I was headed out to do a workout, but I got something special for y'all today. Now, some of my clients might be mad that I'm doing this because these clients pay us thousands of dollars for these private coaching calls. But today, I'm going to share one with you. Why would I do that? Because, my friend, there's enough out there for us to all win. Now, this coaching call, what I was doing with our Brick by Brick cohort members was running them through all the numbers of Brick by Brick, all the behind the scenes, the exact emails that we did, the exact KPIs that I look for, and how much revenue we are making from the cohort. I did this because I want them to be able to stand up communities on their own and leverage their personal brands to do so. So, if you are somebody that is trying to monetize your brand by building a community, a cohort, consulting, an agency, you're gonna like this one. Let's go. All right, so I knew that I could talk a lot about this. And also, selfishly, Bridget, we have these daily huddles. And so one of my asks today was for Bridget. I was like, we need to set some time to just reflect. I'm gonna forget all this stuff. But then right after that, I went to the store, I got a matcha, and I just start reflecting on my walk over there. And so I was like, let me just format this into a guide with a lot of my reflections right now. So you guys are seeing this first. This is a strategy that I try to do with all of the different things that we do within our agency, within different things, so that, and this is like a CEO type of lesson, but so that our team can understand how to then execute these things going forward, right? At some point, we may do this for a client, or I may be like, hey guys, run this thing. I'm about to go on a sabbatical, like who knows, whatever. But everything, I try to always document everything that I do, how I'm thinking about things, so that we always have those resources to pull from, and that our team feels equipped, right? That they have the tools to go execute and learn. So anyways, I will send y'all this link so you guys will have this, but let's go through it. So cohort 2. Some of our lessons from cohort 2. I will also go over some bigger lessons in building brick by brick in general. But as you guys know, I have been trying to and studying and failing a lot and winning some into learning how to like build community, right? Excuse me. And so the one thing, and I called this out last night, was the one big thing that I have pulled out of this experience is that we built before we needed. And I want this to become probably like a core value, even in Brick by Brick, is like even all the things that we're doing and building our personal brands, putting out content. I want us always to be thinking about these are just little bricks that I'm building for the day that I need them. Maybe that day is tomorrow that I need this brick. Maybe that day is in 10 years that I need this thing. But all we're doing with our personal brands is just building these bricks, building these like stones, right? For the moment that we need them. And I will say, I'm not going to say it is anything about me. It is anything about my background, the jobs that I've had, the education that I have. I believe that a lot of the success, and we're about to go through some of the specifics, but I just want to call out here, my ego is not big enough to understand. A lot of the success comes from me just sharing value online without an ask for quite some time, right? And I built this thing way before it was needed, way before I even had this idea for Brick by Brick, right? And so please hear that. Please do with that what you will. But I believe that a lot of the success is not about the email subject lines or which I'm about to go through with y'all. It's not about the YouTube videos. It's not about the LinkedIn posts, which I'm about to go through all of that. I believe a big piece of this is that I was just in the market sharing value way before I had an ask of the audience, right? So that's kind of like what that is. Now, here's all the things that we did or that I have done that I'm doing from like an awareness and nurture approach. I right now do not use my personal brand to bring in clients for our agency. Most of our agency clients, they see my personal brand and that becomes a thing that we bring up within the sales conversation. Most of our clients come from like word of mouth, connections. We work with different like venture capital funds, and then all of their like portfolio folks become our clients. And so very different lane from our agency. And so when I go and create content, I do And I don't really ever feel a pressure to make content that turns into dollars. And I believe because I have that mindset, then I'm able to like really go, and maybe I would have this mindset even if I was, but I'm able to really go into the market and just push out value. Regardless of whether or not you are using personal brands to monetize or not, which I think we all should, which you guys can see that I'm even doing more of now, we should enter the market first to just say, how can I give extreme value? If you can lead and give extreme value to thousands or millions of people, you will not need to do any fancy funnels, any fancy webinars, or anything else. The more impact you have in this market, the more income follows. But with that, from an awareness standpoint, here are the things that I have at play for our personal brand when it comes to awareness that we're actively growing right now. I have profiles and stuff on every platform, but the things that we're actively like posting on and growing right now are LinkedIn and YouTube. Now, when I knew we were going to do another cohort, and I even did this with our first cohort, I was intentional about some of the things that I was posting on LinkedIn. One of the call outs I'll make for cohort 2 that I made last night is that over the last almost 3 weeks, I have not posted on LinkedIn. I've been traveling and I like to disconnect. So that is that, right? So I haven't really posted. Again, back to build before you need. I didn't post and we were in the middle of a launch. I'd already posted and gave enough value, right? Build before you need. So I was able to just disconnect. But on LinkedIn, I will say I was strategic in trying to do a lot more content around current events, trying to put stakes out there with different values that I have. I think you guys remember this like Fawn Weaver post. I try to talk about different things that have gone viral on LinkedIn for me in this time period around this big beauty brand that closed that a lot of people were talking about. And so all those are pretty strategic with me understanding, hey, I know we're going to launch another cohort soon. I need this algorithm to be on my side and I need to get increased awareness before I start selling. Once I start selling online or an email, things are going to go down. Why? Humans hate being sold to. That's just the name of the game. And I'll talk to you guys about some of these metrics. These metrics shouldn't scare you, but what I like to do before I know I'm going to start selling is an increase in extreme value, an increase in awareness and impressions, right? And so that I'm on everybody's radar as, again, this person that gives extreme value. And so when I do make an ask, the folks that want to engage with that ask, one, that they actually see it because the algorithm is on my side, right? And two, that they actually even open these emails, that they have a good feeling about me because I've been on their radar with somebody that's been giving a lot of value and information, right? There's some other things that we've been doing. I don't know if you guys, I was doing this a lot more on YouTube, but there were some like community posts that I've done. I didn't do as many as I should have, and I would recommend way more than I should have. I should have been talking about cohort 1 a lot more. I am going to say this, and then I probably won't even do it with cohort 2, but best practice, like as we're doing these things, after every Wednesday night call, I should be getting on LinkedIn or on YouTube on Thursdays and be like, yo, this is what we talked about in cohort 1 last night. Like, look at this. Please, this is a do as I say, not as I do, right? But as we're building community, especially in these beginning phases that I think ongoing, we should be talking about the things that are going on in our community. It does 2 things. One, it helps other people that were maybe on the fence or seeing things be like, oh my gosh, builds FOMO, right? 2, it actually excites your community members. When the leader is out there talking about them, you feel good. I've been in communities where people are like, oh my gosh, I just talked to Casey last night. One of my coaches made posts about, I just talked to Casey last night. Casey asked me a great question. Here's how I help Casey. I saw that post and I was like, yeah, like talk about me. You know what I'm saying? Like it starts like subconsciously even making the members of the group feel good. Please do as I say, not as I do. Talk about the things that you are doing. If you're running a retreat, like while you're at that retreat, like talk about the things. Talk about those members, right? It's going to do 2 things for you, where subconsciously it makes your folks feel good. Like, oh my gosh, I'm being highlighted. It almost feels like like, oh, you appreciate me, you see me. And now you're highlighting me to the world, right? 2, it helps people that were interested or on the fence be like, oh wow, this is real. There's real people in there and look at them. From the outside looking in, it looks like they're having a great time. Right? Please do more of that, and it's something I need to do a lot more of. Another thing that we did was YouTube. I started posting more on YouTube. I think I have been clear about this. I'm not trying to actively grow YouTube, although it did grow, and I'll tell you why in a second. What I was trying to do with YouTube is to increase email nurture, right? And so I do YouTubes, and then we are able to leverage those YouTubes on my email list, where I'm like, hey, a lot of folks sign up from email to our email list from LinkedIn, right? A lot of people don't see me; they just read my post. FaceTime with me or spending 20 more minutes with me on YouTube is building a lot more of a connection with me and my audience, right? Reach, relationships, revenue. Reach, relationships, revenue. I get my reach on LinkedIn, but then I have to figure out, okay, how do I build deeper relationships with my audience? And for me, one of the things that I do is like, okay, we can film YouTube videos. Then we can email our list and be like, hey, go check out this YouTube video, right? It was just a tool to help me spend more time with my audience. It is not a tool necessarily for me to get awareness on YouTube. We just leverage that asset to then email people to then come and watch me and spend more time with me. One's in the chat, that makes sense. So I'm not trying to necessarily get awareness on the YouTube platform. I'm using the YouTube platform. I get awareness on LinkedIn, and I'm using YouTube as a tool to help me nurture the folks that are now on my email list, right? It just gives me another asset to send to them. And so because of that, and because I know you sell an email, and because again, I wanted to over deliver with value way before I had an ask, I increased the amount of videos we were doing on YouTube. I think we were doing like one a week. We ended up doing like 2 a week. Some of those are just like me talking to the camera. Maybe you guys have seen some of these. It's like these behind the scene ones, or I'm just ranting and talking. Again, none of these are optimized for views or anything, but it was helpful. So now I have 2 assets that can be sent out to our audience so that they see even more value before I put out an ask, right? I only saw 2 ones in the chat. I want to make sure that y'all are tracking with me right now. I know I'm going through a lot, but are we tracking in general? Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. All right. So again, awareness. LinkedIn, for me, awareness. I'm more strategic with what I'm putting out. I'm trying to go viral. I'm trying to share value. I'm sharing stories, right? I need to share some more behind the scenes. I need to share some more community stuff. I didn't. And then I was using YouTube to grow and nurture, and I increased that level. I've been using YouTube even for cohort 1, right? And so for this, I was like, I want to do more so that we can email more. I'll send you guys this doc. I won't get super deep into this, but this is always my rule of thumb. I've probably talked about this. 70% of the content that I'm doing, especially in this phase, is content that I know that works, right? And so that's me doing these current events. Like, I'm not experimenting a lot when I know I got a launch coming up. I'm not experimenting with a lot of new styles. I'm doing stuff that I know that works, and then a little bit of innovating. Cool. Sorry, guys. All right. Now, email. We sell in the email. We sell in the email. We have a client that we're working with right now. She's in the middle of a launch. We're not necessarily helping her fully with the launch. Bridget is helping her with that launch. And Bridget has been killing it. She got like 200 people on her wait list in one day. I was telling her, and I was on a meeting with her, I was like, the selling doesn't happen on Instagram. The selling doesn't happen on like the selling happens in email, right? We want to use Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever you're using, TikTok, whatever you're using to get people on your email list. Once they're on my email list, I share value and I sell, right? Reach, relationships, revenue. Reach from LinkedIn. Reach is from Instagram. Reach is from these social media platforms. Relationship is in the email, right? Revenue, I don't need anything fancy with revenue if I can get my reach and my relationships dialed in. Selling happens in the email. Now we can post like, hey, we're open, here's how to buy. You can post those things on LinkedIn. You can post them on Instagram. Why do I say selling happens in the email? Because as we know, only about 10 to 20% of your followers on any platform even see your content that day, right? 10 to 20% of your followers see your content. Email, everybody's at least seeing the subject line come through, right? They're seeing your name. Now we got to get them to open the email, but people are seeing it, right? I also have more control over email than I do the algorithms, right? Selling happens in the email. And again, what's the number one principle here? Build it before we need it. Why do I put out lead magnets? Why do I put out EECs on LinkedIn? I'm trying to get as many people as possible on my email list. Before we build it, before we need it. Why is email important? Because one day we're going to sell. Whether that one day is tomorrow or whether that one day is in 10 years when we write a book, right? Like, who knows? One day we're going to sell. One day we're going to make an ask. Whether that ask is like, hey, y'all, I'm in Atlanta, like, want to get coffee, like, want to come together as a community, right? Like, whatever that ask is, one day we're going to make an ask. We should make an ask. If we have something to offer, folks, if we have something good, that ask is going to convert better on email, right? So again, we use social media, we use these personal brands that we're building, the awareness that we're building, I should say, to get people on our email list. Email then sells. Now, key metrics that I track, right? You guys know I always want you to understand the why. So I have to just take time to go through this stuff before I go into the nitty gritty. But some key metrics that I'm always tracking. I need my open rates, meaning how many people got my email and opened it. I need that above 30%. I need my click rate, meaning if I have a link in there, right, to go do an application or go buy this link or click this YouTube video, whatever the click is, I want my click above 1%, right? 30% open rate, 1% above, or excuse me, click rate is above 1%. Now, for us during cohort 2, we sent around 20 emails over 3 weeks. 20 emails over 3 weeks, which is a lot for me. That's about one a day. That's a lot for me. I was showing up in people's inboxes way more than I ever have for, a few reasons. A lot of these were value. As I stated, because I knew I was going to make an ask, I had to over deliver with value. And so even starting in August, we were sending more YouTube videos. Again, it was easy for me to just record the YouTube video and send that as value instead of coming up with a bunch of new ideas. So that's just the way I went about it, right? But I would send out these YouTube videos in email. So a lot of these 20 are just value emails. And a lot of those value emails, I would say 80% of them are YouTube links, right? Like, hey, I just broke this down. You can go watch it on YouTube. What's the ratio between value and selling? For every ask, I like to do 10 pieces of value, right? And so if I know I'm about to make an ask every each day, and I'll show you how I made those asks and who I made those asks for. If I know I'm going to do 7 days of asks, I would do like 70 days of value, right? Again, that doesn't mean, so like I've been pushing out value for years now. So I have a lot of capacity to make an ask for 7 days, right? So that's just a little ratio that I try to go on. For every ask, I'd give 10 like pieces of value. Y'all are way above that ratio. You've been posting 4 times a week for 12 weeks. Right? You're at least, and I know all of y'all were posting before brick by brick, right? So if you're worried about, y'all been giving value, you've been showing up. You know what I'm saying? So you have the bandwidth to make an ask. Please make asks. But I like to give around 10 pieces of value before making an ask, if that makes sense. Anita, let me know if that made sense or if you got a follow up there too. You can let me know in the chat. So email cadence, I was sending, again, at least like 1 per day. And then there was 2 days, I think I sent 2 emails, and that was when the applications went live. As you guys know, I trashed our whole plan and did an application. And so on those days, I did 2 emails. I believe it was a Saturday and a Sunday. I did 2 emails. But for me, I mostly did one email. Week 1 of me starting to make my ask, right? So I really didn't ask, I believe, and I should have put this in here, but I believe we didn't really start making the ask until maybe the top of September, maybe mid-September. I can find that date. I'll actually make a note for myself to find that date. But whenever I start to make the ask, meaning like, hey, the applications are open, you can join brick by brick, add in the day the ask started. Whenever that day came, I actually only sent it to our waitlist first. So I'll get into this. So I didn't send it to our full list. I sent our waitlist, the people that asked for me to make an ask. I sent it to them first. So for a week, I was only emailing our wait list. We had a wait list to say like, hey, if you're interested in Brick by Brick, you can join the wait list, right? And so for a week, I was only emailing the wait list, people that wanted an ask, right? So here's the results. We had an average of 45% open rate, right? Again, my threshold is 30%, and so anything above that is a good signal for me. My average before making ask is 60%. So it dropped, right? Humans hate being sold to, name of the game. I don't fight it. I do everything in my power before that. I give extreme value, and then I understand, open rates are going to drop, right? But it's pretty good open rate, especially with a sales period going on. So average is around 40%. And click rates average from 1.8 to 13.6. Every email had at least the click rate, way above our 1% goal. So we were good there, right? This is actually, you've made it. I'll show you guys one of the top open rates. This is a little subjective because this is only sent to our waitlist, but this was the first email I sent to our waitlist to say, hey, we're about to start selling. And as they select, hey, you've made it. Hey, you're on this waitlist, so I know you want in. Like, here's what this is about to look like. And that had one of the top open rates. Our waitlist, and I can put this in here. Our waitlist, I have a whole section on our waitlist, had around 1,000 people on the list. So just for understanding the quantity that we were sending it to. Let me answer Anita's question. It sounds like it's okay if the selling is consecutive let me finish it. It sounds like it's okay if the selling is consecutive as long as you've created enough value before, 100%. And I want to just say it for the sake of this recording, 100%. So, right? But the idea here, and the ratio isn't a hard rate. This is a Casey made up ratio for myself because I have such a numbers brain, 10 to 1, right? It doesn't, all I'm saying is give way more value than you make asks, and you'll be good, right? The 10 to 1 ratio is a made up Casey ratio because I have a very numbers based brain. All I'm saying is give value and then make asks. Give value. You'll win. It sounds simple and it sounds like, of course, Casey. But guys, in this game right now, so many people ask. And then they say, I'll give to you after you join my thing, right? And so if we can show up in the market and give, then ask. What did I just say earlier? It's better to be different than better. That's another thing that helps you be different. Like, wow, this person just gives. Yes, if you can give, law of reciprocity, you're going to receive back. So that's all I'm saying there. So that's kind of some email stuff. And again, you guys will get this whole guide. So don't worry there. I think that's the biggest things that I wanted to go over with email. Again, the amount of emails we sent, how we sent them. And again, we sent to our waitlist first, and then in week 2 of asking, we started to send to the whole list. And the first email that I sent to the whole list, I was like, hey, I've been emailing our waitlist already, so they already got dibs on it. But if you want to know what we're doing, the applications are open. Here, you can apply, right? So that's kind of the framing that I did there. Also, I know most of y'all are on my email list, so I didn't want to go deep into email. You can just search Casey Brown, and all the emails will probably pop up. You can see them. Now, this is something I did want to add. As y'all know, I'm working on engineering better prompts, and I'm really proud of myself. Maybe you guys do not care about all my prompts, but I'm going to keep flooding y'all with prompts as I keep flooding my team with prompts. Everybody's tired of all my prompts. But one of the prompts that I used a lot for email was this prompt. So feel free, as always, to just copy it, throw it in your thing, and then challenge it, right? Do what you want with it. You do not have to follow the directions of it. This is more so like it's teaching your AI. So this was a really good prompt. Now, what helped me with this prompt and what helped me train my Claude to help me even with email copy is just like LinkedIn. This is the first time I've ever even used AI to help me with email. Every email that you've ever received from me, and you can know because it probably has 28 spelling errors in there, is all written by me. All by hand, when I'm walking, when I'm flying, is mostly when I send email. I think I've told y'all this before. I write everything. With this, I knew I needed to do way more, and I knew my capacity. So I knew I needed to use the systems And so I was able to also use this prompt, but also quickly educate it on my voice, my style, how I like to talk, because I have at least a year's worth of emails that I have written all by hand or all by keyboard, right? So please, y'all, you know my feeling about AI and stuff. We use it as a sparring partner, not as the source. But feel free to take this prompt and copy it in. It'll help you with your emails. Now, waitlist strategy. Also, BP, can you message Rachel and just tell her I'll be a bit behind for that meeting with that client? Waitlist strategy. Why we use the waitlist? Waitlist serves different purposes, right? They help to gauge interest. What I used them for was really to help my team and set a goal for them. And I'm about to tell you what that was. It also helped us like identify when we wanted to do this thing, when we wanted to do another cohort. But I think in general, waitlists like subconsciously or consciously, like just start giving you confidence in what you're doing. I really recommend a waitlist. It helps you as the creator or as the community leader. And then two, it helps the other folks feel like there's some friction. I was talking about to Bridget yesterday, and I was like, or maybe I was talking to this about with y'all. And I was just like, when there is some friction, like there's some human psychology there that like, I really want this thing, right? And so I really recommend waitlist. It helps you just understand what the demand is out there and when you want to launch instead of just launching into the void, right? You're also launching to a warmer list of folks. And for those folks on that list, it subconsciously probably is like, helps them feel like, ooh, I'm off the waitlist now, or like, I get this thing. Now, another call out, and I don't know if I put this in here, that I want to add to waitlist is share value with that waitlist. Like while they're on that waitlist, whether they're on there for a week or whether they're on there for 4 months, share value with them. The approach that I would take with our waitlist is I would share behind the scenes with them how I was building, what I was thinking, right? And I brought them along on the journey. Low key, I should probably share this with them. I should probably clip this recording and like share this. Like, hey, you didn't make it into cohort 2, we're sold out, but like here's some more value in building a community, right? Share value with your waitlist, keep them engaged, but also build with them so that they can see what they're entering into, so that they could see the intention behind like what you're building, right? Our goal was to get 500 people on the waitlist. We got 1,000 people on the waitlist. A lot of that was from a YouTube video started taking off. I think I told y'all this 2 months ago. It was a video from now 3 months ago. It randomly started to take off last month. And so it led to a lot of more people getting on our waitlist. Pros and cons to that. As soon as I saw that, that is what really led me to do applications. I knew that we just had an influx of leads, and I knew all those leads, and probably a majority of them were not good leads, right? And so that also led me to doing the application. But our goal was 500. The goal was 500 because we also knew most of our leads come from LinkedIn, and LinkedIn has great quality of leads. And so I didn't need a bunch, right? But I wanted enough that we felt empowered as a team to pick the best 20. And so our goal was 500. Again, something started to go off on YouTube. I know YouTube leads are less like quality or lower quality on average than a LinkedIn lead. And so that is another reason why I did the application, right? All good leads aren't the same, right? All leads aren't the same. So 500 was what we were going for as a big team goal. And not only did we have that team goal, but I put in place a team bonus. And so the bonus that we have for that team that assists with me on these things was not related to the waitlist goal. And the reason that I'm bringing this out is because with cohort 1, I always like to put bonuses for our team, especially when I'm requiring more of them. And especially when I know this is a know yourself. Like I know I can be a little chaotic, and I know I can be like, yo, like let's do this. Like I know how I can be in these times. Or let's scratch everything and do applications. Bridget, can you watch 900 videos? I know how I can be. And so I try to make it fun for everybody, and I put bonuses in place. And so incentivize for what you want with a bonus. If you do have a team, I wanted to just share this. Incentivize for what you want. I didn't want just people on the wait list. If I incentivized for that, my team would just go get a bunch of people on the wait list. I didn't want that. As I just said, I didn't even want all those people on the wait list. All leads aren't good, right? What I wanted was 20 quality people. And so the bonus in place for my team was like, hey, if we get 20 quality folks, and I'm talking to all these folks, so I'm the judge on quality, right? And so they have an idea of what I deem as quality and energetically and fit for brick by brick. If we get 20 quality folks, everybody gets a bonus. So that is something else that I put in place, and I wanted to share that with anybody that has teams or VAs or anybody that's helping you here. I think it really fires up everyone to be to align with the same goal, right? And so everybody that is working with me on this is aligned to bringing in the best 20 folks, right? And so I wanted to bring that up. I'll go through this quick. I do have to drop here in a second for a client meeting. But the last thing I want to go through, I think there's two last things, is the application process. As I've already said, I started application process last minute. It was on Video Ask, all videos. And it was really because one of those YouTube videos went viral and started to bring in lots of leads. I call this out because, again, we are using awareness. We want leads, but I also just want us to be intentional about the communities that we build. Please always optimize for quality. When you're building community and bringing people together, now if you're just selling one-off products, sell that thing, right? But if you're bringing people together, and as a community leader, I want us all to be conscious of the energy that we're creating. That thing is so much more precious than just getting a bunch of people in, right? Please, please, please be protective of the community, the vibe, the expectations that you are setting, right? Because one bad apple can throw off that community, right? And now it all breaks and falls apart, and it's so much more stressful for you. And so, again, one of those YouTube videos randomly start taking off. Is a lot of leads, and that is another reason why I was like, we gotta sort through these folks, right? And so, I have some of those lessons in there as well. Now, I don't know if we'll do this again. It is a lot to review all these videos, so Bridget and I have to talk about this. We haven't come up with what we will do next. You guys know I will tell you guys what we will do, but I will say the applications were good. I was also not expecting that many people to actually even do an application. I think we got like 300 and some applications so far. It is a lot to go through them. And when we come up with a better solution or something, I'll share that with y'all. But it was good. It was helpful. And we are still working through those. So we have 19 spots, I think, filled. So we only have one more spot, or actually we have 6 more spots, and I'll tell you why here in a second. But that's kind of like what we went through there. Now, things that went wrong so far during this launch. We are not done, but I knock on wood that nothing else goes wrong. We had some LinkedIn outages, which I told you guys, and also one of the main folks that helps me with all the messaging and organizing everything, it was his birthday. And he told me, you know, like, hey, I have this birthday trip planned for like a year. I can adjust it, Casey. Like, I know we're about to be in the launch. I was like, no, go on your birthday trip. Like, everything will be fine. When you come back, we'll get to it. And so the first week of our launch, our core team member that helps me with all this was out enjoying his birthday as he should. And when he came back, we got to it. So that is a couple of things that kind of happened during this launch. We had some outages on LinkedIn. As I told y'all, I was traveling and it triggered some things because I was logging in from Japan VPN. So my LinkedIn went out. I was also not posting on LinkedIn because I was traveling. And then also one of our key team members was out for a week, as well as I was out for 2 weeks. So some of those things. But again, build before you need. Because we had a strong brand, because we had so much value in the market, it still worked out, right? Everything still worked out. Now, outside of the cohorts, these are some other things that I just thought could be helpful and some of the things that I just wanted to document for y'all. I told y'all last night, cohort 2, we increased the pricing. The pricing philosophy, and somebody asked me about this, and this is why I add this in here. My pricing philosophy with our team is always just 10x value. So if we're charging $1,000 for something, this needs to give at least $10,000 worth of value. If I'm charging $10,000 for something, we need to give $100,000 worth of value. We have clients that pay us $20,000. So I need to make sure I'm giving $200,000 worth of value, right? This is always a metric, even within our team. When I do team performances and KPIs, I understand what clients they're working with or what value they're in control over. And then we assess, are we giving 10x worth of value, right? And so we'll probably continue, we will continue playing around with the pricing for brick by brick. But I don't look at the competitors in this market. Other people are doing $10,000 products, all this stuff. I believe that we are giving a lot of value. I believe I'm giving a ton of value. But I do know that this is the first time we've done this, right? And so I always want to price accordingly, and give ourselves room to experiment, to grow, to fail, to learn, while still giving 10x worth of value and resources and time and things like that. So I add this into for anybody building community, for anybody doing one-on-ones. When you think about how to price this stuff, say to yourself, okay, I want to charge $5,000 for a one-on-one session for 2 months. How can I make sure that I'm giving $50,000 worth of value? Like, what would that look like, right? And this helps with pricing, and also I think it helps with building out your communities and different programs. So those are the big things that I wanted to call out here. I've talked about the rest of these things.